Good afternoon, everybody. It is a Friday lunchtime over here in the UK. It is the 27th of August, 2021. It's time for another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. This is episode number 35, Influence. So yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. This is episode number 35. Having huge fun putting these episodes together. Hope you like the new introduction. Been having a little play. I'd like to mix this video up as much as I can, but as per usual, it's just time. So I'm trying to seep a couple of little bits and pieces into the episodes as I can. So, yep, usual format. This episode is called Influence. We'll get more on that a little bit later in the Jonnychipz on the Side section of the show. So yeah, for now, let's just jump straight on over to the desktop and do some community call-outs. So it shouldn't go unnoticed. This week we had the announcement of save the date for the next virtual event from Microsoft, which is Microsoft Ignite, November the 2nd to the 4th. Clearly, because of the situation globally with the pandemic, we still can't expect to get back to those face-to-face events, which is unfortunate but understandable. So we have got another virtual event coming our way from Microsoft Ignite on the 2nd to the 4th of November this year. So there's no registration open just yet, I don't believe. So browse on over to the myignite.microsoft.com website. Keep posted on news and updates on that. But save the date. So another virtual event this year, November the 2nd to the 4th. Maria Anastasia pointed out this week that it was the World Wide Web's 30th birthday. So, yeah, happy birthday to the WWWs. Yeah, thanks for that, Maria Anastasia, because I wouldn't have picked that up. So, yeah, hard to believe, really. Wow. I can remember 1991 like it was 30 years ago. So, anyway, happy birthday to the World Wide Web. Let's move on. So, Testing in Production podcast. It's Friday. It's the bi-weekly episode of the Testing in Production podcast. I know they're doing something cool with Discord main stage tonight. So they're doing an interactive Ask Me Anything. Browse on over to their Twitter feed. Go and follow them. Get onto the Patch and Switch Twitch stream tonight. It's 5 p.m. BST in the UK. So join in. Have fun. That should be a pretty cool show. Okay, moving on. Quick tweet from Christian Brinkhoff. So there's a Microsoft Meets the Community Windows 365 edition on the 9th of September. So Christian is going to be going through, I believe it's Christian anyway, but he's given us a link there to sign up for that. But learn how to set up and manage cloud PCs. It's a free training day. It's brought to us by the W365 community members and the Microsoft engineering team. Either go and follow Christian on Twitter and find this link, or browse that URL, so aka.ms/mmc/Windows 365. And we also have an announcement from Neil McLaughlin. So the next AVD user group meetup in the UK has been announced. It's on the 3rd of September, 6 p.m. And they've got the brilliant Ryan Mangan and Claudio Rodriguez as guests on that episode. So stick that in your calendar. Go and sign up on the meetup. Follow Neil on his Twitter. Go and click on the meetup link and go and RSVP. So, yeah, I mean, Ryan spoke recently at the Welsh Shore user group. I don't think I've spoken with Claudio, but clearly there's some fantastic content going on over there. So go and sign up, save the date. Moving on. So, Jen Fox, this tweet Jen retweeted the other day from Edge Impulse. They've got an inaugural event coming up fairly soon, and it kind of caught my eye because, well, not only are there some fantastic speakers on the bill, but it's a 3-day event of embedded machine learning. It is on the 29th of September, so we've got about a month or so's time. I don't think it's not vendor specific, so you've got speakers from right across the technology industry here. So from ARM, from Blues Wireless, Google, Particle, Nvidia, Aura, and of course Microsoft. So 3 days of embedded ML, September the 29th to the 1st of October. Clearly, the things that I'm up to at the moment with AI and IoT and things like that, it just caught my eye. I thought this would be a fantastic event to sign up for. So if you are interested in that, browse on over to edgeimpulse.com/imagine, or go and follow Jen Fox over on the Twitters and get involved. That looks like it's going to be an awesome event. So I'm going to try and attend as much of that as possible. Moving on, April Edwards, yes, she has relaunched the DevOps Lab show with Microsoft. She's kicking that off on the 31st of August at 7 a.m. Pacific. So my math, I don't know, Google. What's Pacific time? Is that 8 hours, 7 hours? I can never remember. Plus with the UK changing their hours all the time. Apologies, go and Google that. I'm not too sure what time that is in the UK, but bookmark 31st of August. So going to be new hosts, new guests, exciting topics covering Infra as Code, HashiCorp and Pulumi. So yeah, go and sign up for that. Follow them on the DevOps Lab on Twitter. Big shout out to Dwayne Natwick. He has a book, a study guide, an exam guide for the SC300 learning track. So congrats to Dwayne on the release of that book. I believe it's out for pre-order. Yes, he does say so there. So go and follow Dwayne on Twitter if you are interested in that SC300 exam, which is that identity and access admin exam. Bookmark that. I'm sure that's going to be full of pack content that you can use obviously to study for and pass that exam. Quick shout out to Richard Hooper, Pixel Robots. He's been doing a whole bunch of YouTube shorts recently, all around AKS and Kubernetes, of course. So go and give him a follow. Jump on over to his YouTube and go and have a little look. They're kind of 30 to 60 second videos. Go and have a little look, see and see if they're of use to you. So thanks to Richard for doing those. And a big shout out to Imran and Azure Crazy. If you're not following Azure Crazy on Twitter, go and follow them. They're celebrating their 1 year anniversary this month in terms of when they launched. They've got interviews with some fantastic people across the community, including yours truly, of course. I'm not saying I'm fantastic, but I did a little interview piece, blog article with Imran. Probably going back about a year ago now. So go and take a look at that. Big shout out to Imran and the guys and gals over at Azure Crazy. Go and give them a follow and give them the support that you always do. And finally, community call out. Big shout out to my good friend Pete Gallagher again. He's got another blog post published on the Microsoft blog, the Microsoft IoT blog. This time all around the Azure Percept Dev Kit. So those that have been following me or Pete, you'll know that Pete and Cliff, they've both got an Azure Percept Dev Kit. They've been playing and tinkering and coming up with some content. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm pretty sure Peter's got some really good stuff coming up over the coming weeks. So keep posted with that. Okie dokie. So I think what we will do now is we will just dive straight on into our Azure News section. Like I say, I've always got to look down at my Stream Deck here to make sure I'm doing this right. So let's go and see what's going on in the wonderful world of Azure News and Updates and see who we've got this week on our roving reporter news list. Am I live? I'm live. Hi guys. Right. Azure News and Updates. How are we all doing? Quite a bit to get through today. We've got a few roving reporters with some superb updates for us this week. So without further ado, let's just jump straight on over to our first report. I can hear him coming through. It's Phillip Parkinson. Hey Phil, what have you got for us?
Hey John, Phillip here. Another quick update for you. So today I wanted to speak about a blog post series that I've been following from Bartos. He's a cloud solution architect with Microsoft here in the UK, and he's writing a series on the SAP community network about how to get data out of your SAP systems using OData and the Azure Synapse pipelines. So Bartos is up to, I think, 6 or 7 blog posts in the series, and he takes you through the whole process of setting up the Azure Synapse pipelines in order to get data out of your SAP S4HANA systems and into the Azure platform. using OData. So definitely something worth following if you're in the SAP on Azure space and if you're interested in learning more about Synapse and Synapse pipelines.
Cool. Thanks, Philip. That's awesome news. So yeah, if you are in the SAP space, especially that SAP on Azure and using the SAP HANA databases, that's a cool announcement. So yeah, Philip has mentioned there that the blog articles to follow. So go and check those out. Thank you so much for those updates, Philip. Let's move on. I think we've got some news from Mr. Dean Ellerby. What you got going on, Dean?
Thanks, John. There's no Azure news from me today, but some cloud management news. I wanted to give you a heads up on some changes in the cloud management community that I help organise. So we're actually moving over from a standard Teams call to YouTube Live in the next event, and hopefully for the future events after that. Mainly so that we're a bit more accessible for people who, can't sit down at a computer and join a Teams meeting, and hopefully YouTube will be a bit more accessible for people who are out and about and that kind of thing. So you can register for this event on which is taking place on the 14th of September, which is the second Tuesday, which is nice and easy to remember. It's just a couple of weeks' time. But you can register at cloudmanagement.community and just follow the links there to sign up. But that's all from me.
Thanks, Dean. Yeah, great announcement. I know that Dean and the team have been doing some fantastic things with the cloud management community, the user group, the sessions they're doing on YouTube. Go and give them a follow on Twitter. But yeah, so I think they're taking a little bit of a different direction in terms of the meetup and the virtual event. So as Dean says, go over and follow them. So cloudmanagement.community and sign up for the upcoming events on YouTube Live. Thanks, Dean. Awesome stuff. Okay, I think from across the waters there in Europe, I think I can hear my good friend Mert. Mert, are you there? Have you got some news for us? Can you hear me, Mert?
Thank you, John. I have important retirement updates on App Service and Azure Functions for Java, Node, and Python apps. Java 7 commit supports ends on 29 July 2022, so applications running on Java 7 hosted on App Service will not receive any updates or security patches after that day. Node 8 and Python 3.6 supports are also going to end for the applications hosted on Azure Functions. So it is recommended to upgrade Node apps to version 14 before 28 February 2022 and Python apps to version 3.8 before 30 September 2022. John?
Thanks, Mert. Yeah, some important updates there for those retirements of those versions of various dev and languages and packages and libraries and things like that. So thank you, Mert. Good spot there. So we'll point those out. I'll quickly do a refresh on the page in a second because I know there's been a whole plethora of retirement announcements this week on the Azure News and Updates. So we'll take a look at a couple of those in a second. So without further ado, I think I've got my last roving reporter. Mr. Cook, are you there? Mr. Cook?
Hello everyone, James Cook here. You may know me from my blog, Cloud and DevOps with James Cook, or podcast, AZ Community Roundtable. Today I want to highlight the announcement by Microsoft on making Cloud Cortana available as open source. Cloud Cortana is a compute application built on Azure Functions and is an event-driven tool to assess security control in cloud and hybrid environments without the need to maintain the underlying infrastructure used to simulate the execution. Currently, the use case available is Azure, but more are coming. Back to you, John.
Thanks so much, James. Yeah, great announcement there. Wow, Cortana has gone open source. That's really, really an interesting thing. Thanks for that update, James. Really appreciate it. So, huge thanks to all my roving reporters for this week. We do have some other bits and pieces, some quite exciting announcements in terms of some public preview announcements. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick scan down. Like I said earlier, Mert pointed them out. There's been a lot of retirement announcements this week. So what I would do if I were you is browse on over to the Azure News and Updates page, and you can see if we just scan from the top for this week, we've got a whole bunch of support for Node 8, Python 3.6. As Mert pointed out, there's a whole bunch of retirement dates looming over the next either next year or the following year. So I urge you to go and have a look at those. I'm not going to read through them all verbatim, but go and check those out if you can. Windows 11 public preview is now available on AVD, so Azure Virtual Desktop. If you do want to go and see Windows 11 in that environment, it is now available. We've got the multi-session in preview. We've got the multi-session with 365 apps in preview. Cool stuff. if you want to go and get a quick sneak peek at that and see what it looks like and acts like in a AVD environment, a host pool, go and check that out. Great news. Also, public preview. We've now got the ability, public preview, to apply settings inside machines using that Azure Policies guest configuration. So if you've been following all the kind of development with the Azure governance and what they're doing with PowerShell DSC, so it's great to see now they've got to the point where they're actually using that Azure Policies guest configuration feature in public preview for doing those configurations inside Azure virtual machines and Arc-enabled machines. So it's all pretty cool stuff. So, you can use guest configuration to do any of those configurations, either that you configured yourself or you've got from Microsoft itself using PowerShell DSC. So quite a cool preview announcement there. And final announcement this week, the relationship with HITRUST and Microsoft has been expanded in terms of the certificate. It's available from HITRUST. It's now available across 51 Azure regions. So that's pretty cool to see. So that's the end of our news and updates for this week. Let's browse back over to John's big face. There we have it. Okie dokie. So yeah, some great news and updates for this week. And thanks again to all my roving reporters. It's much appreciated that you jump on and do those videos for me. If you want to get involved, please reach out to me, DM me. If you want to get on next week's show, 30, 60-second video, please do DM me. Send me a link to a OneDrive location. Doesn't have to take long. Use your mobile phone. Give yourself a little 30-second video. I'll get you featured on next week's Azure News and Updates. So yeah, really appreciate that. Thanks to everybody involved. Okie doke. Time for Jonnychipz on the side. So wow, what haven't I been up to this week? It's been a pretty full-on week, to be honest with you. Doing things most evenings for the community, especially work. Work has gone through the roof, but had some super fun this week. Caught up with Chris Wright earlier on in the week. We recorded our Azure Back to School video session, which is all on AIoT, video analytics on edge devices and Azure. So it was a bumper show. We managed to get through it in the end with a couple of technical difficulties, which have plagued my little Jets and Nano. But huge shout out to Chris for getting involved with that. We'll get that uploaded fairly soon onto the Back to School event, and I believe it's sort of mid to end of September this one will be featured. So huge shout out to Dwayne. Thank you, Chris, for getting involved. That was good fun, even though it was a bumper episode, so look out for that one. Last night, I was on the Bradford Cloud user group with the fantastic Pete Gallagher. I did the same talk effectively, but a cut down version. It covers a lot of different areas, and I need to figure out a way to kind of simplify the talk. I think it's a lot of information in a short period of time, but super fun. So hopefully those that joined enjoyed the talk. I'm trying to tweak it as we go. So yeah, super fun. Thanks for the guys at Bradford Cloud User Group for inviting me on, and it's super to be, on the bill with Pete. So yeah, go and check that out. I believe that'll be up on YouTube relatively soon. Okay, it is Friday. We've got another episode coming out tonight, but firstly, huge thanks to Kirk. If you have missed that episode, go back down below. You can catch up with that. We had a chat with Kirk last week all around his developments with Busby, the personal safety app that he and his team have developed at busby.io. So super fun to chat with Kirk. If you have missed it, go and check that out. But tonight, super excited to be releasing this episode with GPS herself. So I've been following GPS for a fair amount of time now. It was super fun to catch up with her and chat around cloud compute and, her journey. She's obviously working with Microsoft now as an advocate. So great chat. Look out for that. That'll be over on Azure Live, twitch.tv tonight, 6:30 p.m. BST. Actually, if you are watching this now, I did a bit of a faux pas with the YouTube premiere. I set it for 7:30 a.m., not p.m. So I think it's actually live if you want to watch it, but I didn't say anything. But thanks to GPS for coming on and doing that show last week. So look out for that for tonight. And moving on, yeah, on the same team of In Convo with, I'm getting some, regular throughput of more fantastic community folk on the show now. So big shout out to Dwayne. Obviously, Dwayne's got the Azure Back to School event starting in September, of which myself and Chris, like I just said, we're taking part in with some content. But there's a whole heap of content. So go and follow Dwayne. Get involved with that Back to School event. Look out for the content. And this video should be dropping next week, potentially. So look out for that announcement later today. Okay, so this video was called Influence, and I feel like I've transcended somehow. I received a box of goodies. I don't know if you recall last week I mentioned that I was contacted and had a bit of a chat with a representative at Corsair, who were the parent company of Elgato. They've seen my setup, like the bits and pieces that I've been playing with over the last year or so. And I thought it was a little bit of a hoax, if I'm being truthful, but yeah, they've picked up on the content that I'm doing. They sent me a box of goodies. I was surprised and, obviously, so thankful. But they sent me a Wave 3 mic, the pop filter and shock mount, and a face cam. It was super to kind of receive those. They're also sending me the low profile mic arm, which I believe should be coming next week. So I'm keen to do a couple of unboxing videos and, show a little bit around the face cam and a Wave 3 mic. They are still sat by here at the moment. I unboxed the face cam and I'm using that for Teams meetings. I've not yet configured it with my OBS to go and, do some stuff with the face cam camera instead of my other little smaller webcam. So I think I'm going to switch that up and make that part of my true video recording setup once I get the time to kind of rearrange things a little bit. But super gear, super equipment. Thanks so much to Elgato for sending that kit out to me. Really is appreciated and honoured. So yeah, I've transcended. Am I now an influencer? It's just shocking to think of that. So, like I say, I unboxed the face cam the other day. There it is. It's sat up next to my main camera at the moment. Did a couple of quick comparisons. I have recorded that video, but I haven't edited it together yet. So look out for that. And I think what I'll do is I'll do the unboxing of the Wave 3 mic as well and see if we can get those videos out there for everybody to see at the same time. But so on that note, last weekend I had my brother-in-law over, and we, that introduction that you saw earlier on, hope you enjoyed it. It was super fun, and thanks to my brother-in-law. But we set a few bits and pieces up, got the dolly out, started to do a few little arty kind of shots on my MVP award and other bits and pieces. It was all good fun. So yeah, thanks so much to Sean, my bro-in-law, for sorting that out for me. So more to come. Lots of nice B-roll footage that we'll use to intersplice with some other videos as we go. So yes, so like I say, I'm hoping to kind of do a bit more with the whole thing around YouTube videos. In fact, I couldn't remember what I was saying then. So yeah, like I say, that B-roll footage, put together a little bit of an introduction video as you saw earlier. There's a little bit of relaxing music. I did a little bit of a TikTok. Let's just see if we can get any engagement from TikTok. So yeah, super fun. Like I say, I've probably got about 4 or 5 minutes of B-roll footage, which is all this kind of arty movement footage, scanning across equipment and elements of my office and various bits and pieces. So stick around, it's good fun. Looking forward to trying to use some of that footage in the future. So then we're kind of going to mute that now for a second and move on over. So the last thing for this week, how can I miss out? We've got our 2 new kittens, Bandit and Ash. We had a name change, as I said, over socials and last week. But yeah, big news. So you can see I've had a pretty full-on week. I've had no end of community bits and pieces to do. Obviously, the Elgato equipment, filming some B-roll footage. Work has gone through the roof. And we got a couple of new kittens. So who can, who could have a much better week than that? So that's Jonnychipz on the side for this week. Let's get back over to the big cam. Yes, I pressed the wrong button again. Yes, thanks for spotting that. So I've got 2 buttons. One that just goes straight to my main camera, and another one that plays that little splash screen in between. So if I look at main cam, sometimes I press main cam logo. That's what happens. See, that's when you program it on the Stream Deck and you're trying to read and sort things out at the same time as pressing buttons. So anyhow, we're going to jump into the Welsh Azure user group, news and updates. Let's jump back over to the desktop. So first thing, we have a call for speakers out at the moment. We are looking for speakers, both, full session, sort of 40, 50 minutes chat. Equally, if you want to do some lightning talks, follow me, follow Welsh Azure on Twitter. Go and browse over to the Sessionize page. Like I say, we've got the Sessionize page set up at the moment, and you can kind of select between a lightning talk or a full-length talk. We really do need speakers. We've gone through the list of submissions that we've had for lightning talks. We've had a couple of submissions already. So the thing is, this month's event, I'd say next month's event in September, is going to be a face-to-face. So we are doing it in Cardiff at the Tramshed. So we've got Tramshed Tech arranged at the moment to Wednesday the 29th of September. We've got 2 speakers coming down to us. I'm going to announce them later on in this week. But we do need speakers. So if you do want to speak at the user group, please do submit a session. We really want to hear from you, whether it's a lightning talk or a full-length talk. But equally, we've got an option there on whether or not you can speak in person down in Cardiff, generally speaking, the Cardiff area, or if not, can you do a virtual event? So the idea is that over the coming months, we're going to try and run an in-person event every 3 months. So it'll be September. The next in-person will be December. But we're also going to try hard to stream those events out as well. So for the audience that has been following us over the last year, virtually, you're not going to miss out. If you can't make it in person, the only thing you're going to lose out on is probably a free couple of beers and some pizza. So, and of course, the awesome opportunity to network and say hello in person, abiding by all COVID rules and things like that right now, of course. So we need speakers. If you can make it in person next month, we want to see you there down in Tramshed Tech in Cardiff. If you can't make it, you can join us on the virtual event as you would do normally. But please, if you do RSVP, we've set up this form. So if you are going to join us in person, all we ask is that you just drop us your name, email, just so we got a list of people so we know how many beers and how much pizza we actually need to buy. Because I'd hate to only buy 1 pizza and we get enough people for 1.5 pizzas. You know what it's like when there's that last piece of pizza left in the box. Nobody wants to eat it. Nobody wants to touch it because they're too embarrassed to take the last piece. We don't want that to happen. So please do register for that event, sign up. Put your name on that form and just let us know that you're coming in person. If not, just leave it as an RSVP on the meetup page, and obviously we'll know that you're going to attend virtually. So 29th of September, Tramshed Tech in Cardiff. Follow the Welsh Azure Twitter page, jump onto the meetup, RSVP, register for your session in Sessionize. If you've missed any of the sessions, they're all below in the playlist, the Welsh Azure user group playlist. Go and check those out. Some hugely fantastic content, if I do say so myself. Back over to Big Face. I'm going to take that button away. Even after I do it once and I read it out and I say, I've just done that, I go and do it again. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Huge thanks for all your support. Superb. Superb to see everybody in the community doing so many fantastic things this week again. There's still a lot going on. It feels like we've dropped off a little bit because the summer's come in. We're now back out. Everybody's busy. We've got a little bit of virtual burnout, but everybody keep plowing on. Keep that enthusiasm up. Keep plugging away. Keep doing the stuff that you're doing. It's all hugely, well respected and required for the community to keep us all ticking over. So thanks everybody for tuning in this week. Until next week, I've been John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and this has been Jonnychipz Weekly number 35. I'll see you all next Friday.